It's been more than a month since the Syrian government regained control of Eastern Ghouta. Syrian state media says life has returned to these destroyed neighborhoods. Markets are no longer empty. But the United Nations says humanitarian needs inside the former rebel stronghold remain high. An estimated 120,000 people live there, 70,000 of them in the main town of Douma. The enclave on the edge of Damascus is no longer besieged by pro-government forces, but the UN says it remains a difficult place to reach.
The East Ghouta access requires an authorization from the government of Syria. It's part of the besieged or the hard-to-reach areas. And so far, even despite the fact that East Ghouta is no longer besieged, we haven't really been able to provide assistance. The last convoy we took inside was mid-March. We continue appealing and hoping to be able to bring assistance to all locations. It's subject to a government approval, who also says at the moment the security situation due to unexploded ornaments is not safe for us.
Panos Mumsis, the UN's regional coordinator, was in Beirut where he presented the latest statistics on the humanitarian situation in Syria. He described it as the worst since the start of the conflict, and his main concern is the lack of access for aid. Last year, the Syrian government accepted 27% of the requests for deliveries by the UN, but in the first 4 months of 2018, permissions were granted to only 7%.
The reduction in the areas of besiegement and the number of people being besieged hasn't really necessarily resulted to better access. So we still have huge humanitarian needs inside Syria. More than 2 million people are in hard-to-reach areas, and massive displacement that we see in Idlib.
The number of Syrians living in besieged areas has dropped from over 400,000 last year to 11,000 after Syrian government forces recaptured rebel-held areas around Damascus and Homs in recent weeks. But almost 120,000 people who were once trapped are now homeless in rebel-controlled northern Syria. Aid access is not the issue here because the region borders Turkey, but according to the UN, the main concern is safety and protection. It is calling on the warring sides to spare the region from further suffering. Zeina, Khodr, Al Jazeera, Beirut.